The curtain raiser today is being unfolded by Major General M.P. Singh, Yudh Seva Medal, Sena Medal, Major General, General Staff of Eastern Command. Before I hand over the proceedings to him, here is a brief introduction of the General Officer. The General was commissioned into Jammu and Kashmir Rifles in June 1990. An alumnus of National Defence Academy and Indian Military Academy, the General Officer has also attended the prestigious Defence Services Staff College, Defence and Strategic Studies course in China, the National Defence College in Delhi. He has commanded an infantry battalion as a colonel in high altitude area. He further went on to command a mountain brigade in the northeast as a brigadier. Thereafter, he commanded a mountain division in northern theatre. Besides the prestigious command and staff assignments, he has been an instructor in Imprat, Bhutan. The General Officer has wide and varied experience in Northeast region of our country. He is a recipient of Yudh Seva Medal, Sena Medal Gallantry, and Chief of Staff Army Staff Commendation Card. Now, I request Major General M.P. Singh, MGGS, Headquarters Eastern Command, to address the August gathering with respect to the Vijay Diwas 2023 celebrations.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On this momentous occasion of 52nd Vijay Diwas, on behalf of Lieutenant General R.P. Kalita, Param Vishish Seva Medal, Uttam Yudh Seva Medal, Ati Vishish Seva Medal, Sena Medal, Vishish Seva Medal, General Officer Commanding in Chief, Eastern Command, I welcome the distinguished members of media fraternity. I also take this opportunity to welcome Mr. Adalid Elias, Deputy High Commissioner Bangladesh, who has honored us with his presence for this curtain raiser event. I also extend a warm welcome to veteran journalist Mr. Partha Chattopadhyay, who had covered 1971 war. As we speak, 52 years back, the same time and date, that is 2nd December 71, Indian Army in specific 4 Division was in process of establishing firm base at Akandabariya for an attack on Darsana. Also, troops of another Indian division were into the fiercest battle of Ankhawa and Gangasagar. The Mukti Bahani was in support of these operations and did commendable job to defeat enemy forces. The partition of the Indian subcontinent in 1957 that led to the formation of West and East Pakistan somehow overlooked some of the basic constituent of a nationhood in the form of geography, culture, and linguistic dimensions. Ever since partition, the people of the East Pakistan were treated as inferiors by their Western counterparts, who tried to impose their own culture and language on the Bengali populace. The refusal of West Pakistan authorities to honor the popular mandate of 1970 elections set in motion the series of events that eventually culminated in the birth of a new nation. With the denial of equal representation in government, lack of freedom of expression, and meager economic development, the people of Bangladesh rightfully demanded equal rights, which started in the form of peaceful protests. To quell these peaceful demands, Pakistan Army unleashed unprecedented levels of violence and atrocity on Bengali civilians. Operation Searchlight of 25th March 1971, during which thousands of Bengali nationals were killed and arrested, finally proved to be the turning point which led to Sheikh Mujibur Rahman declaring independence of Bangladesh on 26th March 1971. This promoted native Bengalis to pursue the struggle for cause of freedom from oppressive Pakistani dispensation. However, with ever increasing brutality by the Pakistan Army, increasing number of people fled East Pakistan to seek refuge in India, which welcomed them and provided all humanitarian assistance possible. You all are aware that on 3rd December 1971, Pakistan launched a series of airstrikes on our country, thus drawing us into a war. Responding to unprovoked aggression, India retaliated in full measure, unleashing a multi-pronged attack on Pakistan. In the Eastern Theatre, along with brave Mukti Jodhas and civil population of East Pakistan, the speed and strength of Indian offensive eventually led to the disintegration of Pakistan armed forces in East Pakistan. This remarkable achievement was possible due to the focused efforts of our nation as a whole and synergy between three services. In just 13 days, Dhaka fell to the Indian Armed Forces and Mukti Jodhas. Lieutenant General A.K. Niazi, with all Pakistani troops, surrendered to the Indian Armed Forces led by Lieutenant General Jagatjeet Singh Arora, General Officer Commanding in Chief, Eastern Command. Furthermore, in an excellent diplomatic maneuver, Indian government secured the release of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman from Pakistan, who became the first Prime Minister of Bangladesh on 25th January 1972. I must also highlight that true to our national values, the units of Indian Army started to exit Bangladesh in the very month of January 1972, and the last unit exited in March 1972. Our two nations not only share a common ancient history and culture, but in contemporary times also maintain excellent bilateral relations which are built on the foundations of strong people-to-people contact and mutual respect for each other. The Prime Ministers of our respective countries have given the due importance to Indo-Bangladesh relations under our policy of neighborhood first. The recent achievements include settling land and maritime boundaries, demarcation, improving connectivity, cultural exchanges, increased volume of trade and commerce. Our defense forces have also shared a cordial relationship over the years, which have seen an increase in the number of joint exercises and training. India and Bangladesh maintain a special relationship, and such military to military interactions go a long way in cementing our cooperation. Here at Fort William, we take great pride that Eastern Command was at the center stage of the historical struggle and fight against an oppressive dispensation of West Pakistan. It is therefore apt that the epic victory be celebrated in a befitting manner. This year, we have the privilege of hosting a 30-member Bangladeshi delegation and six serving officers from Bangladesh Armed Forces, along with their families. From our side, war veterans who had taken part during the 1971 war will also be attending the event. Eastern Command will be conducting a series of events which include an interaction between Mukti Jodhas and our own war veterans, military tattoo, wreath laying, cultural program, and band concert at Victoria Memorial, in addition to visit to places of historical interest.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Mr. Andaleb Alias, Deputy High Commissioner, Bangladesh, to please address the media gathering.
At the beginning, I would like to convey best wishes for the month of victory. Vijay Mashe Shubhetsa to everyone. For us, the Bangalis, it's a month of high emotion. This is the month in which we got our final victory. This is the month, on 14th of December, we lost the best sons and daughters of the soil to the cruel Pakistani forces. This is the month where our government the Mujibnagar government went back to Bangladesh and started rebuilding the nation. This is the month where we were relieved to learn the family of Bangabandhu is okay. And this is the month where we are very anxiously counting the dates when Bangabandhu would be back among us. And as General Singh said, it was the wonderful diplomatic maneuver of this great state, India, that made it happen, that ensured that Bangabandhu came back among us to lead the nation for the nation building. The relationship between Bangladesh and India, it's simply built on blood and sweat. A friend in need is a friend indeed, and that's where India comes in. Starting from the days before even 71, we were always banking on India. We're sure that if something happens, we have a very friendly neighbor beside us. So that's why when when this carnage started, when the genocide started on 25th of March, people rushed towards the border, towards India, with the expectation that India would provide support to us, and that happened. We got support, all-out support. The borders were opened to our refugees. More than 10 million refugees stayed in India for nine months plus, and they were provided all-out support, of course, by the government, but at the same time by the people. That's the most important thing. That's why we are always grateful to the political leadership of India, to the armed forces of India, whose members laid down their lives for our liberation, and above all to the people of India. We will remain ever grateful. You see, in Agartala, in Tripura, there was a situation at one point of time during the 1971 Liberation War that the number of refugees were 3 times the number of local people. So you can imagine the hardship that it put on the local people there, the people of Agartala, of Tripura. But still then they smilingly accepted us with open arms and provided all our support to us. That relationship can never be changed. That gratefulness can never be denied, I would say. So we are always grateful to you for the series of events that you hold during the month of December. I'm sure, sir, you know that we also hold a series of events in Bangladesh as well as here in Kolkata. We call it Vijay Utsav, the festivals that we arrange in our Deputy High Commission premises. And that is why I'm so grateful that you have invited me to all these events on 15th and 16th of December. But I'm sure you will kindly understand and excuse me from some of the events, because at that time I'll be hosting some parallel events on this great occasion. Finally, sir, as you said, that the relationship between Bangladesh, which was built on blood and sweat, on mutual trust and respect, that is not stagnant there. That's going up with every passing day, with every passing month, with every passing year. That bond of, I will not say friendship only, that the bond of the souls, that's increasing. We are passing through the Shonali Odhya, the wonderful relations between the 2 prime ministers, and that exemplary in the world. I don't think there is any other neighboring heads of government who shared this kind of understanding, appreciation, and respect for each other.
When I entered the hall, I first came across the pictures depicted here. And I found that all the pictures depicted here happened before my own eyes after 52 years ago. All pictures are familiar to me. I have seen Sheikh Mujibur Rahman when he first arrived at Dhaka airport, and since then for 5 months I travelled with him to Pabna, to Chittagong and to other places, and I developed the best relation with him, and I found him is one of the greatest men in the world. Secondly, my coverage to Bangladesh war has been very funny, because I used to cover, like other reporters, from the borders when some areas of the borders are opened and liberated by Indian Army and Bangladesh Mukti Bahini. We used to visit those places, how the people situation, about the people's situation, how they are reacting to that. And we went to Jessore several times. And first time when I went to Khulna border at Phultala, we first came across how war happens, how war is. Prior to that, I have no idea what the real war is. I was amidst the shelling from the Pakistan army, and this was the brigade of Indian artillery. I stayed there for an hour. Then I had to come back to cover this event and to write stories for the next day's paper. So I could not stay there very much. Then I was invited to, I was assigned, I should say, by my office to attend a press party to Kumilla, which was liberated long ago, with a group of journalists, mostly international journalists from American papers and British newspapers. We accompanied them and went to Kumilla. We then came to know that Dhaka was liberated, Bangladesh was liberated. Then we found a wave of people. They chanted slogan Jai Bangla, and they accosted us. A large number of people they came to, and that was the real experience of the people having liberated their country. Then we waited till late night to go for Dhaka, and that was the main story. We boarded a steamer, and at midnight we found some shelling was coming. The shell was coming from Indian Army by mistake. That they thought that we are the Pakistani armies were running away. So, however, we saved very providently, and then next day we went to Dhaka. Dhaka, the first scene of the 16th December, Dhaka was liberated, and 16th December night we spent whole night on board or with the people in Kumilla. And then we went to Dhaka, and first time in my life, that's the unforgettable memory of my life, that I first entered a country liberated. And there's a enthusiasm of the people from all quarters, that people are singing, dancing on the road, and on the other hand we found that lots of dead bodies were thrown on the street. That was the dead body of the local people. They fought each other, and it was like a civil war or something, but it was completely put down by Indian Army. They took over the reign of Bangladesh at the time. Now, I must mention, I can remember that Lieutenant General Mujumdar was the administrative head of the liberated Bangladesh for some time. And after the war, you don't believe that how a country can put calm and quiet after the liberation happened. After so many months, there was turmoil and killing of people, and complete there was no law and order. But after Indian Army entered there, and General Mujumdar took charge of the administration, so everything he kept under control. It was the first and foremost thing which I praised and wrote down in my report. Secondly, I had to stay there for 5 months. These 5 months are very important in the history of Bengal, because how the power shifted. Indian Army, they made over they are all their power to Indian administration, Indian and Bangladesh administration and Bangladesh Army, and the exchange of prisoner of war. That was a very rare event of any young like to cover, and it was a ceremony. It was a ceremony, and Pakistan Army and Indian Army came together and they surrendered their arms, and then ceremoniously this retreat was made possible. However, all my experiences I have written in my book, Later in Dhaka, that there was Indian edition too, and at the same time there was Bangladesh edition. It can be heard of. When I went to Dhaka, I made a copy to Indian Bangladesh Academy, and at the same time to Dhaka University. So, and I can say only today that it is a great experience of my life, because I have had war correspondent training before, prior to that in the year 1967 at Ambala and Patiala with the Indian Army. And so this training we did not, at the time of having training, we did not think that this training will do anything in my life. Well, we were able to just utilize what history happened, that I was there, and I in the midst of the war, and a war happened, a real war happened, and I experienced the real war in my life. So I hope these two countries nowadays, and they will live peacefully together, because the relation between Bangladesh and India is very vital for the existence of both the countries. So there should be the cordial relation, whatever government comes out of, it doesn't matter, because it is democratic country, any government may come, may go, but it does not mean that the peace is required only for the sake of the Bangladesh people and also Indian people. With those words, I am expressing my thanks and gratefulness to Indian Army and Eastern Command.